Hello everybody, this is Uppish, and today we're going to be talking about something really freaking strange from my childhood. Now, there was this show when I was a kid. It was really freaking weird, really strange. The characters were all strange, it was entirely a weird freaking show. This show was known as Pucca. What is Pucca, you may have asked? Or you may be asking? It is a show about a village of ninja people basically going and doing these weird, wacky adventures. You have what is considered the main character, which is Pucca, which is I'm guessing Chinese girl? I'm debating between whether or not she's either Chinese or Japanese. I'm guessing Chinese. And then there's the second character by the name of Garu. I think that's his name. It's very strange. Garu, well, basically this whole show revolves around Pucca and Garu. These two characters, like every episode, it's about them, both. Almost every episode, like there might be some episodes where it's only Pucca, or some episodes where it might be only Garu, but most, if not all, episodes are about both of them. The premise of the show is basically, usually Garu goes on this weird, wacky adventure, and Pucca follows him. That's the entire premise of the show, basically. Pucca follows him everywhere. Pucca is basically in love with Garu. Sometimes this will lead to moments where you would honestly question Pucca's behaviors. You'd consider them almost stalkerish, like to a really creepy freaking level. She follows Garu everywhere he goes. In the first episode of the show, I'm pretty sure the show, by the way, was made in like the early 2000s, almost maybe even the late 90s. I remember it from early 2000s. It played alongside shows like Shaolin Showdown and Jetix, I think that's what it's called. Strangely enough, though, it has its entertaining aspects. Like, in the first episode, Garu has to find this sacred orb, or sacred ornament.
All that is left for the Mooncake Volcano Taming Festival is the Silver Moon Topper.
At the top of a volcano, in this weird temple built into the volcano. And the premise of the episode is basically this specific mountain of this thing called mooncakes, like, has to be made, and at the top of it, this mystic ornament has to be placed and put into a specific spot at the base of the temple, where when the moon hits its highest, it beams a light down onto the sacred orb and beams light onto the volcano. And if this is not done at this specific time, apparently the volcano will erupt and completely mow over the village.
The mooncake and topper must be placed perfectly and presented to the volcano before the moon reaches its peak.
When the moonlight reflects off the topper, it'll beam brightly onto the volcano, and it will know we respect it.
If we don't, it will pour its wrath onto our village.
So then, Garu is forced to go and find another sacred orb because the one they already have gets broken after it topples off the top of the mountain of mooncakes and lands in the hand of their clumsiest citizen, which for some reason is allowed inside of this ninja village's kitchen. Which is constantly being used as some weird freaking karate cooking place, where they'll start jumping up into the air with their pots and pans, throwing food around in the air, basically making one hell of a health hazard. And this one kid is like, he has no skill at all. And you'd be surprised at the fact that he's allowed in there, because you'd think that he'd pretty much almost kill himself every time. No, for some odd reason, they let him in the kitchen, and so then Garu pops in after their monologue about the sacred orb. Pucca's in the kitchen there with them, by the way, and they have to tell her, no, you cannot use this because it's the sacred orb, blah, blah, blah. As Garu pops in, they give him the task of going to get the orb, and in the meantime of their whole dialogue with Garu, Pucca is sitting there and thinking they're gonna go on some romantic traveling trip together. And Garu leaves, and throughout the entire journey, Pucca is just making it harder and harder on him. He trudges through dangerous jungles, windstorms, and all sorts of crap, and guess what it does? It literally makes... She's literally there, standing randomly in these places. Several times she takes pictures of him in the most inconvenient timing, or she'll be doing some really weird thing. For instance, in the middle of the sandstorm, she creates a pair of sand sculptures of her kissing Garu. Eventually, Garu gets up to the volcano, and it turns out that the shrine they get the sacred orb from, it turns out it's actually a mall? Or a shopping center?
Welcome to Volcano Depot.
And it's basically, like, weird. It's really weird. They have all sorts of stuff they're selling there, and as the volcano's starting to go off, there's explosions going off inside the shop, and the shopkeeper starts running around frantically.
Everything must go. Fire sale, fire sale, fire, fire. Oh.
So Garu goes and picks up the sacred orb, which turns out is just an item they're selling that can shine really bright. So they go and they pick it up, they run off, and then they go and they run back to the cooks, or the chefs, and they put the orb on top of the freaking mooncake tower, and it falls off again, lands in the clumsy kid's hands again. He trips over again, and it breaks again. Then the volcano goes off, and you know what happens? Nothing. Just a fart cloud pops out. Which means, basically, Garu just did all that for nothing. And this is basically what almost every episode is like. Some crazy, weird thing happens. Garu goes on a mission to fix whatever crazy crap's happening, and then Pucca chases after him. This whole show, even when I was a child, I really couldn't get into it. I was like, I think around 8 years old when I watched it. I watched a couple episodes out of it, and I just couldn't. Guys, I really just couldn't. It was freaking weird. However, Shaolin Warriors, which played next to it, I was entertained by that. I loved Shaolin Warriors. But this show was just, it was like one of those shows. Pucca was one of those shows that came in between longer episode shows. It was like, I think, a 5 minute or less episode series. Probably right around 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So it was like an intermission kind of thing. Pretty interesting, though. Interesting and weird. Really weird. So if you're interested in stuff from 90s kids' childhoods, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you're interested in 90s kids' TV shows, I suggest checking it out. Pucca was just weird. It was just weird all around. There was nothing mediocre. I mean, it was just weird. So please go watch it for yourself. It is old, but still you'd probably find something fun to do with it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you liked this little discussion, this little review, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you want to see more stuff like this, please hit the like button down below. This was pretty interesting to make. Something from my childhood that I just remembered today. I figured I'd make a video on. It'd probably be quick. So, thank you all for watching. Seriously, please go check out Pucca. Please go watch at least an episode or two of it. You might have a hard time. If you're like me, you'll have a hard time watching it. I basically watched episode 1 just to remember what it was like. And yeah, it's just as awkward as it's like not as awkward as it used to be, but still pretty awkward. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!